Hello, hello. Welcome back to Next Level You podcast. You guys, we are kicking off a really fun mini series. I haven't done a mini series since I think it was last October, maybe September. And I had this download that came to me, and my VA, Kristi Norman, who is here with me, she's doing this whole mini series with me. I kind of like suggested it to her. And so we just decided to run with it. I brought her on for a collab. If you go back and listen to episode 63, I brought Kristi on to do a collab where we talked all about just like a general overview of cycle syncing as a business owner. And the download that I had and what we're going to be doing with the month of October for you guys is we're going to deep dive into all four phases of the cycle. So for you female business owners who are like, this is a whole new concept to me, go back and listen to episode 63 because that's just a really good general overview as to like what we mean when we talk about cycle syncing. And then come back and listen to these four episodes because our whole goal, or why I'm bringing Kristi back on, is I really want to spend each week diving into the four phases. But I don't just want you to understand what those four phases are. I want you to understand how you can align your business with each of those phases so you are getting the best alignment, the best version of you. So you are just in a good rhythm in your business. Because if you're in a good rhythm with your business, then your life is going to feel more aligned and more on point, more relaxed. And I just think we all deserve that and we all need that. That's just an overview of what these 4 weeks are going to be covering. There might be some myths that we talk about. There might be just some tips on how to lead your business through better energy and clarity and what times of month work best for you for those things. And then if there's anything that you're like, oh, I have questions, always know you can DM Kristi. She has these period power hours that I think are just like the best way to get more information on this topic with her. But just in general, DM her and you can always set something up with her if you want to really dive even more deeply into your specific cycle and what you are dealing with your own hormones. All right, Kristi, is there anything you want to say before we dive into our first phase?
No, I think that introduction was great. And I'm just excited to be back here again with you and to be talking about something that is my passion work in the world. So thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I'm glad this felt aligned for you as well. I think this is something that I'm not yet fully doing, but I hope a year from now I can say, yep, my business is fully aligned with my cycle.
Hmm.
So I just think every business owner should know about this.
For sure.
All right.
Agreed.
So let's just dive into
Yeah.
menstrual phase and all things menstrual phase.
If we think about a 28-day cycle, because a lot of women have a 28-day cycle, then we could break the phases just for ease of talking down into like 5 to 7 days, but
Okay.
it's different for everyone.
Right.
So when we talk about this, we'll go through like the sort of markers that begin one phase and end
Mm,
that phase.
love it.
And then begin another. And because we're talking about a cycle, it is a continuum. So there is no actual beginning or end, but we often like to start talking about the menstrual phase first because that does sort of start the next cycle in the continuum.
Okay.
So, what I actually do when I am coaching women through this is I'll take them through a series of steps where they are really tuning into their own body and assessing whether they still feel like they're in one phase or they've moved into the next. So we could say for ease, yes, cycle day 1 for sure. That is the still point. Cycle day 1 is first day of bright red blood, and that is the beginning of the menstrual cycle. So that one's really easy to pinpoint.
Yeah.
We know when we've started bleeding, right?
Yeah.
But that menstrual phase could go for you for 4 days, 5 days, maybe 7 days. And it can change a little bit based on that particular cycle that you're in right now. So let's just ballpark say it's the first like 5 to 7 days
Yeah.
of your
That makes
cycle.
sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. What's the
Yeah,
theme of this phase?
totally. So it's rest and reflect.
Okay.
For me, I also, especially like when I'm thinking about business owners, rest and reflect is a really great way to describe this cycle. But I do also call this phase release as well.
Mm, Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
So we're doing a trifecta in this phase.
Yeah.
We are releasing in the physical shedding of our blood, but we are also releasing the things that no longer serve us from the
Mm,
last cycle, from even years before. This is the time where we're letting go. And then this is also the time that we're resting, especially the first and second, ideally, days of that phase, but kind of generally throughout the whole menstrual phase, we want to align with rest as much as possible. And then reflection. If we're doing the releasing well, we're doing the rest well, then the reflection, the visioning can really come in. And so I like to think of this phase also as like you are the seer or like the wise woman during this phase.
that. Love it. Okay. Obviously, we know what's happening in the body during this
Hmm.
phase, hence why rest is so important during this phase.
Hmm.
In my mind, like we need to treat this time of the month like the slowing down
Yes.
period. It's just a temporary slowdown where
Hmm.
you're just letting your energy recharge, right? All the
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Exactly. And I really like when you start to allow yourself that rest, especially in your business, if
Yeah.
you let the automations take care of things for you during this time, if you let
Hmm.
your VA take care of things for you
Hmm.
during this time, then this is an altered state of consciousness. Like you are in a different brainwave state when you're bleeding. And if you can really allow yourself to be in that and to be the queen and rest on the couch and not be distracted by your phone, especially the phone,
Yeah.
then you are going to start feeling your intuition
Mm.
turn on in a way that you maybe haven't had access to before. This is truly like that visioning space. But if you don't give yourself that time, if you don't give yourself that rest, then you're going to miss that. And that
Hmm.
visioning is what helps you set up the whole next cycle. It's what helps you determine like what offerings am I going to focus on?
Yeah.
What attention does my business need? Is there a client that I'm working with that we need to reroute and go a different way? Is there something I need to put on the back burner and something I need to give focus to? So this is where your like wisdom comes in.
It's
Yeah.
almost like you're accessing your higher self when
Mhm.
you truly do give yourself permission to rest. And you're saying, like, not rest and then like numb yourself by doom scrolling, but just true rest where you're not behind a screen, where you're not working on the business, even like you are giving yourself permission to just truly rest, give
Mhm.
yourself that downtime. And it really is in those moments of downtime where we do get those intuitive hits, those downloads come and it's aligned. Then you can really trust it because you know you're connected to that higher version of yourself in those moments.
Absolutely. It's a connection of your higher self. It's a
Yeah.
connection of your soul. It's also a dropping in to your womb space and the
Mm, love
wisdom that
it.
is there within you as well. And there's this really beautiful meditation that I take people through to access that and to ask questions of your womb as its own sentient being. Like she knows stuff
Yeah,
that maybe you're not listening to. And
right.
this is the time that you get access. You get like special access to that knowing.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
live in such a loud world that how often do we actually access her? Like that version of ourselves gets hushed, gets quieted, or gets drowned out by so much outside noise.
Mhm.
This is that time of the month for you to just truly be intentional about, like, I'm going to really connect with her
Yeah.
this week or for a few days. And I'm just going to really go within and trust that whatever is coming up is what I'm meant to be putting into practice and put us through that next phase of the cycle.
Mhm. Absolutely. And I will add too, like there's such we're so steeped in productivity culture, right?
Yeah.
That it can be really challenging for us to rest well
Yeah.
because what creeps in, right? Guilt,
Hmm.
shame.
Shame.
I should be doing something else. I've got these piles here I need to clean up. The
Hmm.
kids need attention. My partner, I should do a date night. Like we
Yeah.
have all of these inner voices, right, that are bringing in all of that. It's all that noise
Yeah.
from out here that's saying you should be doing something.
Hmm.
And this is the phase that, like, if you can continue, you just got to hear that voice and then you've got to, like, Say, okay, I'm going to take a deep breath. I acknowledge this guilt. I acknowledge this shame, and I'm still going to rest.
Yeah. And
If you
that's a
can,
hard thing to
oh,
do.
it's so hard. And
I
I will
know.
be the first person to say that. Like, I am
Yeah.
not great at it. But what happens then often is that the cycle starts to, it'll whisper to you first, and then it'll start to shout. And that shouting is cramps, headaches, migraines, you know, extreme fatigue.
Yeah.
Your body is yelling at you to rest,
Yeah.
truly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And I agree with what you said. I will be the first to say that I still struggle with rest. I feel I've gotten so much better at it in the last couple of years, but it's still something I struggle with. And I think you said it perfectly. It's because the society that we live in is not yet normalized to do that, especially as a business owner, but really any profession. I don't feel it really matters. And
Mhm.
I don't know. I guess I just feel like, at any given time of the week, I probably have anywhere from 20 to 30 tabs open on my
Mm,
screen on my monitor. And so when I have those down days, my mind immediately goes to, okay, I can chip away at those tabs now. Great.
mhm.
Or, oh, there's all these things I've been wanting to journal about, or, like there's always
Yeah,
something I could be doing. So to
for sure.
truly rest, it's difficult because you always have that pull of, I could be doing this, I could be doing that. And yeah,
Right.
it's hard.
Right. And it truly is, once you start to set yourself up on really aligning with your schedule and your cycle, you're going to know like you deal with those tabs in a certain phase, you
Hmm.
deal with your overflowing email inbox in a certain phase,
Hmm.
and then it all gets done. And then it's easier to rest in this phase.
Mm.
But also, like when I say rest too, it's like you don't have to completely ignore your business at this time. There's just certain things that are better to do. And I think journaling, like you mentioned, Steph, is like one of the best things to do during this time
Okay.
because it's accessing that intuitive wisdom that you have available to you in a very special way
Mm.
during your bleeding that can show you where your heart wants to go next. What is soul aligned? What do you want to head into in your
Okay.
business? So, if it's really hard for you to think of like resting and doing nothing, then think of it as doing the restful business activities during
Okay.
this phase.
Okay. I
For
love
sure.
that.
And it's, like, ideal if you can take 1 day off, maybe
Yes.
2 days, maybe 3 days, depending on your business,
Yeah.
and really rest, right? Like, especially
Hmm.
on those heavier bleeding days or the days when you don't feel as well. But the rest of the phase, like, gentle work is okay. Like, I'm still at my computer a bit
Right.
on
Right.
those days, but I'm prioritizing the chill mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. So, what are some tips that you would have for entrepreneurs to really embrace this phase of the cycle?
Yeah. So I think it's important to take some time to look at like what your menstrual phase feels like.
Hmm.
So because we have a gamut here, right? Like
Yeah.
some people don't have cramps, don't have
Right.
troublesome symptoms, they feel quite good during their menstrual phase. That's amazing. If you
Yeah.
feel that way, I still want you to lean into the visionary part of this phase. If you keep going and going and going like you were in your other phases, then you're missing out on that opportunity for that direct wisdom to come through you. So even if you feel great, still take a day to slow down. Maybe this is the day like maybe this is your monthly review
Yeah.
phase, right?
Yeah.
Where you're sitting, you've got your packet of maybe like monthly review questions. You're looking at your KPIs for your business. You're looking at like your Instagram growth. You're looking at new leads, whatever it is in your particular business that you track those analytics. This would be a great time to like review all of those things, to put those numbers to paper or a
Mm.
spreadsheet, and then to have a series of questions of like, okay, well, what does this mean for me? And where do I want to focus? And to sit in meditation or some quiet stillness, or if that's not your jam, then go out for a nice walk
Hmm.
and let that wise guide talk to you.
Love
What
it.
is she saying? What's your womb saying? What are your yeses? What are your nos?
I love that. I love
Yeah.
it. So, if we're talking about like living in an ideal world, this might be more realistic for business owners who maybe don't run a service based business versus those like myself who run a service based
Mm,
business. Typically, my clients are booked out 2, 3, like dabbling into 4 months ahead. And I guess my pushback to a service based business owner who might be like, there's no way I can cancel 2 or 3 full days of clients. That might have been what a younger version of me would have even said, if I'm being
mhm,
completely honest. But now that I'm much more open to like, I want the business to truly feel aligned.
mhm.
I know, I mean, if you're tracking your cycle, whether it be through an app or you're wearing what's the ring called? Is it the
Like
Aura
an
ring?
Aura ring? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If
Mhm,
you're tracking through one of those devices, then you know ahead of time approximately when the menstrual phase is going to start for you. And
mhm,
so, I mean, to be completely honest, you can take those 1, 2, or 3, 4, whatever days off your calendar so nobody is scheduling on those days.
mhm.
And you can balance it out the other 3 weeks of the month or the cycle.
Yeah,
And so in
100.
my mind, that's kind of how I envision this looking. And so I just want
Mhm,
to put that out there in case there are service based business owners who are like, yeah, rolling their eyes, like, this is so unrealistic. That's a very limiting belief that they are carrying. I recognize that because I used to feel that way, but
mhm.
it's actually not. Again, like your business will thrive off of implementing these tasks or I mean, you'll thrive and you'll feel better because of it. And so I just want to put that out there because I really do think it's probably easier for people who don't run a service based business, but it doesn't have to be hard to implement
Yeah.
this.
It is hard and it's not hard. It's
Yeah.
a matter of priority,
Yeah.
truly, 100%. So I'm a service-based business owner.
Hmm.
I own 2 on the cusp of 3 service-based
Yeah.
businesses.
Yep.
And if I can do this, anybody can do this. And I've been actually implementing taking I see no in-person clients the week of my period.
Awesome.
And I have been doing that I started probably 6 or 7 years ago. And so that is in my massage therapy practice, which is very, very part-time now. So
Yeah.
it's different, but you can do it. You can
Yeah.
take that time off. And the way that we're talking, we're doing this podcast series talking about one phase at a time, but when I work with business owners, we interweave all of these phases because it's the decisions you make prior to this phase you're in that set you up for success. And that just
Mm.
goes and goes and goes and continues. And one thing, though, I'm so glad that you brought this up, Steph, is that one of the things that you can do in your menstrual phase is you block out your calendar for the next cycle. So that's how I do it. I have the ability to do it that way right now. But I also, like 3 months in advance, have a little star in my calendar that says this is probably going to be menstrual phase. So just keep it light. Just keep it light right now. And then as it gets closer, I'll know for sure if I need to wiggle those dates or what. And it is entirely possible. The other thing that I want to say here is that some of the work that you're doing in whatever kind of business you have, some work is harder to do when you have your period and some is not so hard. So for me personally, in-person client sessions are very challenging for me to do in my menstrual phase, so I don't do them. That's why I committed to that, 7+ years ago. Some of the work that I do, like VA work, social media work, I still plan for light days, but
Hmm.
I still am available
Right.
for any last minute kinds of things that come up. That work is easier for me to do in that phase. So, really, it's about just like tuning in, looking at your work, looking at your schedule, and fitting this into your business.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
To piggyback off of what you're saying, I think what would be easier for me on those down days is really like tapping into that feminine energy, so to speak. But
Mm,
I feel, especially because those downloads are probably coming in hot, if I'm giving myself, like, let's say 2 days of rest,
mhm,
probably by day 3, I'm probably like, I have so many ideas for content creation that have probably come through.
mhm,
So I could just envision maybe a half day on the couch in sweats, but I'm just like cranking out on Canva different
mhm.
reels and carousels for content for the rest of the month or for the following cycle or whatever.
Yeah.
And that to me doesn't equate to like hustling. It still feels like rest to me, but like I
Mhm.
just know after probably even just a day of rest, I'm probably gonna have like all of these ideas that have come
Yeah,
to me.
for sure.
My notes app is gonna be like full, and I just know I'm gonna be like itching to like get behind my computer and just create away.
Yes.
So that, yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
would do.
And I love that you mentioned that too, because it is like, your first few days of your cycle, that's your very internal time. That's your very feminine time. That's your rest time. And then as we move into, day 4, 5, 6, 7, we are becoming more outward. The hormones are shifting and changing. Our bleeding is slowing. The symptoms are less. And yes, then you're just tuning into yourself, like what feels right now. And some of us want to dive right into action, but think and prioritize restful action. So batching like that, perfect
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
Another thing would be like making like setting a goal and writing out all of the micro steps
Mm.
involved in that goal for your business.
Hmm.
And just kind of like knowing that like you're going to have the energy, the space, the time to take action as you're moving out of that phase.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And I like to think of the menstrual phase for myself. It's helpful. I feel like I go into a cave.
Hmm.
So I say I'm in the cave, right? And then as I'm in that cave, I tune in each day. Do I still feel like I'm in the cave or do I feel a little more outward? How does that feel? How do I feel? And the first point of like the point of change to help me know that I am moving into the follicular phase is that I feel like I'm stepping out of the cave. I'm more outward, I'm more external, I'm more willing to say yes. I will go and do things. I'm ready to take the action in my business. I've gotten all the downloads. Now I can move into the next space. The other sort of like point of change is arousal. And arousal could be like physical body, sexual arousal, but
Yeah.
that's also our creative center too, saying to us like, oh, it's time to like get moving on
Hmm.
this stuff.
Hmm.
Right.
Okay.
So for some
Awesome.
people that happens day 3, 4, some people 7.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. That's helpful. Yeah. Okay, I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
been like with some of my past solo episodes ending with some helpful like affirmations or gratitude statements or journal prompts. So, are there
Mhm.
any specific ones that you would recommend specifically for the menstrual phase?
Yeah, as I was tuning in, I really just let these come through intuitively.
Yes.
So take this or leave it. You do whatever you want, but the affirmation that was coming through is rest is best right now.
That.
Yeah. And then the journal prompt, when I trust my intuition, the next right step is revealed. What is revealing itself right now?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll put that in the show notes, you guys. And I really just encourage you. I'm going to try and end each of these with a good action step for you guys. And so for this menstrual phase, Christy, and feel free to add to this if you want.
Mhm.
I really think the best action step for you guys moving forward is look ahead. Look at however you're tracking your cycle. Look ahead at the next, let's say, 2 months, and already just start with like 1 or 2 days. Decide today that, okay, these are the days in the next couple of months where I'm not going to let anyone schedule. I'm not going to do any podcast episodes. I'm not going to work in the business. Potentially, you could work on it, but like for sure, you're not working in it though. You're not seeing clients. You're not at the storefront. You're definitely just like solely behind the scenes, and if you're not yet in the place where you can just truly let yourself go into troll mode and rest on the couch, that's fine. But like,
Mhm.
just let yourself at least stay in sweats for a couple days, okay? Like, let yourself go for a walk midday. Let yourself just truly rest. Let yourself just be grounded for a couple days and just see what comes from that. Like, truly treat this like an experiment
Mhm.
and just see after 1 day how you're feeling. See what comes up for you. There's probably going to be some discomfort, I imagine, because your
Mhm.
comfort zone is to probably function in that hustle mode for the past how many months. And so this is going to cause some discomfort for you. Totally normal, totally to be expected. Tune into those things. What are you feeling? What downloads have come to you? What ideas have came to your mind? Look at your notes app, put things in there as the day goes on. And then at
Mhm.
the end of the 2 days, just reflect on that and how that felt for you. That would be, I think, the best action step moving forward.
Yeah, I love that. That's perfect. I'm really glad that you mentioned play with that. Let it be an
Hmm.
experiment. Let yourself play with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
and let yourself feel the discomfort when you have blocked out in your schedule that this is a day for nothing,
Mhm.
and then you break that boundary that you set for yourself
Yeah.
because you're
Love
going to
it.
feel something.
Yep.
So this is beautiful
Absolutely.
boundary work as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Kristi, this is so helpful for our first episode. I am like
Yay!
fired up. This is so great. So,
Yes, love
all
it.
right, you guys, if you have any further questions, just specifically about the menstrual phase, like I said in the beginning, feel free to DM Kristi. She's a wealth of knowledge. And I mean, you could even, like, if you sign up for her, like, period power hour, you could even, like, she could probably tap into some of the, like, astrological parts of you and, like, really bring in more, like, personalized advice and coaching for you around that, which I think sprinkling that in on top of your cycle could be so freaking powerful. So, I just really encourage you to reach out to her if this is exciting you in any way, or you're like, this resonates so much with me. Reach out to her, take it a step further. We will dive into the follicular phase next week.
Yay!
All right. Thanks, guys.